The cold winter weather is coming, and the team at Peerless Boilers, they're ready to help you prepare for this season. It's time to make sure your home is nice and warm for the cold weather. Save loads of money on your fuel bill. Do it now before it's too late and you've got a mess on your hands. Start thinking about replacing your old beast of a boiler with a new high-efficiency Peerless Boiler. Go to peerlessboilers.com, pop in your zip code, and you'll find a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers, and proud sponsor of Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel.
The Auschwitz Jewish Center Foundation is a not-for-profit organization whose mission is to utilize lessons from the Holocaust to fight hatred and bigotry in all forms through educational programs and provide direct humanitarian assistance to victims of mass atrocities and genocide. Your support helps ensure AJCF's vital work to fight anti-Semitism and all forms of hatred through education. They use the lessons of the Holocaust to honor the past and transform the future for generations to come. For all the details and to support the Auschwitz Jewish Center Foundation, visit ajcfus.org. That's ajcfus.org.
So as I've told you all morning long, I just kind of flipped the switch, right? I just spent the last week in Israel, and not just spent the week in Israel, but when you consider I had a face-to-face meeting with President Herzog last Thursday, took Sarah Netanyahu to the Western Wall last Thursday night, and then broke the Yom Kippur fast with Bibi Netanyahu. Spent about 3 hours with Bibi on Saturday night. He signed a book for me, said, stay the champ, stay the guy. It was just an amazing week. But again, I flipped the switch from being as Jewish as it gets, a hero to the Israelis, to today, where once again I go back to what I always wanted to be, Italian. It's Columbus Day here in New York City, and if it's no Columbus Day unless you get the great Joe Piscopo, who of course hosts the Columbus Day Parade on Channel 7 every year. He does the best Frank Sinatra. He's a better Frank Sinatra than Frank Sinatra was. Every Sunday night here at 77 WABC, my dear friend, I really do love him, and of course a morning show host as well, the great Joe Piscopo. Happy Columbus Day, Joseph. How are you?
Sydney, thank you. Did you get my note at the studio there? I gave a little note. Hi, Sid. Happy Columbus Day. I put it right there where you usually sit.
I did get it. I did, because you were here last night doing the Sinatra show.
Couple hours ago, man. We had a blast. We had to play all Italian all the time. But I have to, let me just say, if I may, my dear friend, so proud of you, because you know what, you put you in your heart and your soul. We know what you believe. You so support Israel. Everybody's thrown Israel under the bus. I don't know what's happening. And you got up and you went, and then you sat with Bibi. You sat with Bibi, and I was so proud of you, Sid.
Oh,
you know, like an old friend. I went, that's my man. That's what I'm talking about right there.
No, I know. You know, I was with you about 2 weeks ago, the beautiful engagement party for John Jr. with John and Margot, and me and you and Ernie Anastas and Mark Simone hit the stage. And you actually texted me in Israel the night after I met with Bibi, so I know you're being very sincere. And look, Joe, let's face it, is there a group of people more similar, more alike than the Jews and the Italians?
Exactly right. I'm not going to say this on the air when we do the broadcast, noon to 3 today, but they say that Columbus really was a Sephardic Jew. I'm just saying that's what the rumor.
I heard that.
Did you hear that?
I did. We only take credit for the Columbus part that found America, not the bad stuff. You know.
That was so great. I straight up. That was great. So I didn't know. But I tell you what, and also, I love the WABC, and we all love John and Margot and everybody at WABC. And Sid, you're leading the way, my friend. Doing so great. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
The way, again, throughout the whole platform on radio, we're all together. There's me, you, and Simone, you know? I mean, it's like from 3 different media outlets, and we're all together for the same purpose, and we're just having fun. And then that you guys celebrate. You're going to be at the parade. Isn't the whole station is going to be at the parade today, correct?
This is John D'Agostino with D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm. And I'm proud to be a sponsor and partner of WABC Radio and Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel. God bless America.
I'm attorney Jenna D'Agostino, continuing the legacy my father, John D'Agostino, started 35 years ago.
I grew up on these New York and New Jersey streets. They shaped me. I'm attorney John D'Agostino from D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm.
Call our team first.
888-24-LAW-24. 888-24-LAW-24. D'Agostino Law Bite Back.
Bring the dream of flight to life at iFly Indoor Skydiving. iFly gives you the rush of flying without the stomach drop feeling. It's a one-of-a-kind experience for any occasion, from birthdays and anniversaries to staycations or milestones. Expert instructors guide you to float on a cushion of air so you can embrace the freedom of flight and create lasting highlight reel memories. Get the thrill of flight without the height. Go to iFlyWorld.com and use code TAKEFLIGHT for 20% off. That's iFlyWorld.com, code TAKEFLIGHT.
Yes, but this will be my fourth consecutive year. Angelo Vivolo joins me earlier today, and Karen DeMasi took care of me. So for 3 years, I was in the La Familia convertible Cadillac, but for some reason today they promoted me, and I went from the convertible Cadillac to today I'll be in an Alfa Romeo at the very, I guess, closer to the beginning of the parade. They're highlighting me today, Joseph.
You know what? The last time, and Sid and I have talked to this. You listen to Piscopo and Rosenberg on the radio last year. Sid goes, look, I'm coming up, and you texted me. I think I was in the broadcast booth.
Yep.
I get the director to give me a camera shot. Sid goes, so I go, this is a famous story. So I go like this. Now you can't do it because you got to go through the control board. So I do. I go. Sid and Rosenberg's coming up. You got to get him on camera. I look at the monitor. Boom! There you are with your beautiful face, my brother. Right there. That was the best. That was the best.
Yeah, you got me on. I had I had my dear friend, the very, very famous defense attorney Joseph Tacopina in the call last year, but this year no guests.
Great.
Yeah, just me and in the Alfa Romeo. But I do want to ask you about this day. You know, my son, for example, Gabriel, he's off of school today, but he for many years he went to a private school in Manhattan. He switched schools. Thank God I pulled him out of there. But the school he went to refused to recognize Columbus. They celebrated, quote-unquote, Indigenous People Day. And you remember years ago when Chaz Palminteri and his late friend Phil was a great guy, came into the studio with me and Bernie and fought for the statue and to keep Columbus Day. I don't hear a lot of that the last couple of years. Is that pretty much over, Joe Piscopo?
Yeah, I think we're making headway. Thank you, Sid, for bringing that up. Because even when I hear some great institutions won't even celebrate Columbus Day, the Italians will not take no for an answer. So the second they attacked us, and the second they said we're taking the statue down, I've never seen the Italian-American community join together more than today, Sid, because they go, once you really think, and I always say, they're going to take the statue. Tucker Carlson said to me on TV, will they take the statue down in New York? I said, look at me. I said, Tucker, look at me. You really think they're going to take the statue down in Columbus Circle of Christopher Columbus? Do you really think that would happen? And it would never happen here. That's why, in many ways, all the bad things they say about New York and Jersey, to make the jokes about Jersey, as I've done through the years, but we are sticking together now more than ever. We have more power. We just have to stick together. It's like you with Israel. I can't tell you in my heart how much I enjoy it. Sometimes you feel like you're a lone voice out there sometimes. Yeah. You look at the press, you see what they're saying. We got to keep the fight, Sid. You got to keep the fight and stay strong. And the Italians are doing that better than ever these days, my friend.
It is interesting that you just pointed it out. You know, of course, the Jewish people get hammered in the press every day. I mean, CBS is basically, at this point, CBS in America is basically Al Jazeera. There's no difference. They actually told their people working there, do not refer to Jerusalem as a part of Israel. If you know what's going on with Jews and Arabs in Israel, and I've been there twice now the last 6 months, the Arabs want to take Jerusalem. And CBS is telling the folks that work there to say Jerusalem is not a part of Israel. It's an attack on the Jews. And you're right. Same thing with the Italians, Columbus. Here in the United States, did you ever think, Joe Piscopo, in your wonderful, amazing celebrity life, you would see a day where Jews and Italians were the bad guys?
Never. I never saw. The Italians always took a hit, too. And every time listen, we all can joke about the stereotypical portrayal of Italian Americans, and I've had fun with that, too. But there is the risk of, and I don't think it'll happen because of the power, and BB's like Churchill these days, Sid, you know.
Great analogy.
Power.
Yep.
But they are trying to exterminate Israel, but Israel has been the homeland for the Jews from day one. And we know it, and we got to keep the fight on it. I don't know how we lost that in the media. But you know what? They don't know. I don't think they know the tenor of the Italian-American community. I don't think the mainstream media, this legacy media, knows the tenor of the Italian-American culture, Sid Rosenberg. They'll never take us down. It just makes us stronger. I don't want to say bring it on because I don't want to be like that. But you know what, Sid? Bring it the freak on. Come on.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You know, my buddy Tacopina, he's a tough Italian kid. You know, Joe.
He's the best.
He's the best. So for years, he never watched The Sopranos, Joe. He wouldn't watch it. Meantime, I'm friendly with all those guys. I'm doing that TV show Gravesend, shooting season 3 right now. We've got Uncle Junior. We've got a bunch of those guys. So and we got Vinny. And Big Pussy. So a long story short, Tacopina refused to watch The Sopranos for years and still doesn't really like it because he feels like it depicts Italians as mobsters. And I said, Joe, let's be honest. And I don't say this with any venom. It's the truth. Every Italian is either a mobster or wants to be a mobster. And I got news for you. Jews are the same way. We want to be Italian mobsters. Just take it. It's not that big of a deal. But on a serious note, I know that a lot of Italian Americans get very upset that we think not we, but people think every Italian is a mobster.
Yeah, it's so true, but it's not. And you know what, I know that's great. Joe's great, by the way. Tacopina's, he's great. I know he got all these great lawyers out there. And I remember a lot of people in the Italian American community, myself, we get some upset about some of these shows. But the way I look at it, when you look at the portrayal of the Italian Americans, is there a better actor than Jimmy Gandolfini? Is there a better director than Francis Ford Coppola?
No.
Look at the shots. And then when Coppola shoots The Godfather, Sid, what did he do? He took a shot. He made sure he took a shot of the immigrants coming in from Italy to America, legally, thank you, with flags American flags in their hand with the Statue of Liberty in the background. If you remember that shot. It was You put all the gangster stuff aside, and you look at the beauty and the strength of the writing and the directing and the acting. But it would be nice, Sid Rosenberg, if we had a Spielberg in the Italian American community. Spielberg, this guy did Schindler's List. He's so true to his heritage. The Italians, there's not one Italian director that will do a positive Italian story. Maybe it's time. I think I'm going to have to get into the directing business, Sid.
I think you should. By the way, as great as Spielberg is and all those great movies, he was the guy that co-directed the DNC in Chicago this summer. You could have him. You can have him. He's yours. I'll take Scorsese any day of the week. So on the way out, this is the great Joe Piscopo, amazing entertainer, great singer, and, of course, his own terrific morning show every weekday morning on 970 The Answer. Give me this, Joe. The parade today, again, I'll be out there in the car, but for folks watching at home, what can they expect?
It's going to be 3 hours where we're going to tell everybody how great the Italian-American community is. I got 3 hours to jam it down everybody's throat to tell you everybody how great we are. We're going to be with ABC 7. I think you go to abc7newyork.com. You'll be able to see it. It's live as live can be. And I have to give a shout-out to WABC television in New York. Sandra Bookman is going to be there. Mark Mars is going to be there. We're going to be hosting it. Gianna Valenti is going to be there. All over New York, covering the whole parade. It's going to be a great celebration through the Columbus Citizens Foundation. And give Angelo my best. Angelo Bivolo works harder than anybody else over there, and he puts it all together. So it's a great, positive celebration. Let's put politics aside, Sid, and let's just enjoy the Italian-American community, my brother.
And what a perfect opportunity for you. I do this every year. I'm going to do it again. When that car, my Alfa Romeo, shows up on that red carpet right there, somebody's going to run out and say, Sid just came back from Israel. He was with the President Herzog. He was with Bibi Netanyahu. What a great day. What a great day for solidarity with the Jews to interview me for 5 minutes on Channel 7.
You're done. Done deal. I know a guy. You're covered, man.
That's not too stereotypical. Hey, Joe, I love you. You're terrific. Danielle loves you, too. It's great seeing you, and have a great time. We will see you later on this morning at the parade. God bless.
God bless you, too, Sid. Love you, too, my friend.
Love you, too. There he is, the great Joe Piscopo, every weekday morning radio show, great radio show, The Answer. And, of course, Frank Sinatra does the big show here Sunday nights at WABC. Just one of the most talented, nicest people you'll ever meet. We'll take a short break. Lots more to do. Michael Goodwin's going to stop by and more. Columbus Day Monday with Sid back in New York.
Did you know the cost of each illegal immigrant is nearly $9,000 per year, according to the Federation for American Immigration Reform? The total cost to taxpayers since 2021 is $72.8 billion. Current Washington leaders have irresponsibly allowed entry of over 7 million illegals, 5 times the number from our prior elected officials. This election, remember, politicians aren't just ignoring us, they're willfully defying the law they swore to uphold. Advocate for America paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad.